I want a raise.
3%.
10%.
7.
10%.
Fine.
And Pearson Hardman pays for law school.
Was on TV, and she was a firecracker even at age 11.
I don't think it's right for kids to grow up thinking these things, that just mom does everything.
Before there was the Hollywood Duchess, there was Meghan, hustling actress and wife of Trevor Engelson. As the perfectionist that she is, Meghan and her team have worked round the clock to erase much of her pre-royal life to craft a persona that's fitting for her new role as the Duchess of Sussex. But here's the thing. While you can scrub out stories and switch up narratives, you can't scrub out the people who witnessed it in real time. In her first marriage to Trevor Engelson, an American producer, the pair married for just 2 years after dating for a total of 7 years. In the course of their relationship, it became evident to everyone around him but Trevor that someone in the relationship had one foot out the door while the other was fully all in.
Prince Harry's heart.
It was really early on, after the two had first met, that Harry actually sort of realised that this is a girl that he had feelings for.
The divorced 35-year-old Suits actress Meghan Markle reportedly hiding out with the...
When it comes to Meghan, there's always a grand plan, a goal, a thirst for success and importance. This is what she has been chasing ever since her early days as a model, then an actress, and now a duchess. In her quest for that, she's willing to do anything, even marry a prince, just to get closer to her goal. She would even go so far as to divorce someone who has shown her nothing but love and affection, someone who has shifted and adjusted his life to make space for Meghan's grand dreams of fame and glory. But here's the thing about love. You can't love someone into loving you. You can't love someone into reciprocating and giving back the energy you give them. It's either that they want to and do it, or they simply don't care to. And Meghan, she didn't care. This was very obvious to everyone around the couple, except Trevor himself. But that's the thing about love. Those rose-colored glasses make everything seem rosy when it isn't.
Romance. The two reportedly crisscrossing the Atlantic for secret meetups over the last 5 months, even double dating with other members of the royal family, including Harry's cousin, Princess Eugenie.
The pair had been together for 9 years in total, 2 years married and 7 years dating. That's almost a decade. A decade that Trevor would never get back and would most likely always remember, as it was a relationship where he poured so much only to realize that the person he was pouring into didn't see him as part of her bigger plans. To her, he was simply something to get rid of when the time came. Before we dive into the drama, let's pause and shed some light on who Trevor is and how the pair went from strangers to lovers to divorced. Trevor Engelson is an American producer. Unlike his ex-wife, he was never one for the cameras. Instead, he could be found behind the scenes, moving the needle just a bit.
Working on their clean water campaign.
She is very interested in charity work. She is an ambassador for a number of charities. She's been to Africa on humanitarian projects in the same way as he has.
He has produced various movies, including License to Wed, Rise, All About Steve, and a movie starring Robert Pattinson, featuring a small cameo by the disgraced Duchess. In the movie, she turned down attempts from the leading actor's friend with a simple, "do not speak" line. Although little is known about their first meeting, the pair began dating in 2004. By 2010, Trevor popped the question, and Markle said yes. Soon after, they made their way to Jamaica to exchange vows and profess their promise of a forever love on the 10th of September with family and friends. A far cry from the massively televised ceremony of the Duke and Duchess many years later. But it would seem that sometimes love comes with an expiry date, and in this case, this love came crashing down in the summer of 2013, according to Princess Diana's biographer, Andrew Morton, who claimed Trevor felt it was totally out of the blue. When it comes to Meghan, there's one statement that comes to mind. What Meghan wants, Meghan gets. But when you flip that, it becomes, what Meghan doesn't want, Meghan gets rid of. That seems to be the case for this couple. Morton further claimed that according to a friend close to Trevor, he said the film producer went from cherishing the Suits star to feeling like he was a piece of something stuck to the bottom of her shoe. ouch, that realization must have stung.
Like Bethany Frankel, okay? She's over the top. She's ridiculous. She would tell you that first and foremost, okay? She posts anything and everything on TikTok, and it's why she's become an even bigger social media star since leaving The Real Housewives of New York. Well, she was doing...
Here was a man who felt like he had found the love of his life, the woman with whom he was going to spend the rest of his life. Little did he know that Meghan had much bigger plans, and she wasn't going to let anyone get in the way of her vision board. Regardless of his feelings, the two have been relatively quiet about their short-lived relationship. Just a few years after the pair split, Meghan met Prince Harry, and they began dating. This opened up a new can of worms for Trevor once again. The media constantly hounded him, and he had to go through seeing the woman he once loved with all his heart move on. According to some sources, he was allegedly devastated by the whole ordeal, and his reaction to hearing that his ex-wife was dating the prince? Oh, she'll close. No rants, no long-form essay for the world to see, no name-calling or speaking to the press for attention. None of that. Just a simple statement. Simple on the outside, but the weight of it was too much to ignore. When it comes to love, they say it takes two to tango. In Trevor and Meghan's case, it seemed Meghan mentally checked out of the dance floor while Trevor strained hard to hold it all together. Friends and family noticed it. The efforts went in vain, not reciprocated. Warm moments felt icy. Less affection from Meghan.
And burn. And we've seen it time and time again with these women. They marry famous, rich celebrities. They get the guy. Okay, they know how to be like cool and beguiling and interesting and...
The rising Suits star was getting all loved up with her beau at the time. But as the show gained more recognition and attention, Trevor was putting in the work. He adjusted his life to suit her long hours on set, cheered her on from the sidelines, and was as supportive as a partner could be as she navigated her new role in the widely popular show, Suits. The thing with love is that you can easily get blindsided, cling to a hopeless hope, and fall into the trap of making excuses for the other person. For every missed call, disappointment, for every moment missed and moments shared that felt performative rather than genuine, Engelson still clung to that hope. He was there before the fame, but was out while she clung to the ladder of success. Suddenly, he no longer fit into Meghan's grand plan, and so he had to go. This is a woman who didn't have the decency to return the ring in person, but did so via mail.
Right now, eating crumpets and scones and doing ribbon cuttings and being beloved. Meghan Markle went from being British royalty to partying with the Kardashians. Okay, that is a fall from grace. Okay, how do you go from being British royalty?
The Netflix star chose to act this way towards someone who had dedicated almost a decade of his life to loving her, cherishing her, and being there for her in every moment before Suits and during the show. While the film producer was mourning the loss of a love he once knew, Meghan was stepping up and moving on quickly. She had finally gotten rid of that obstacle that had been in her way, and now that it's gone, it was time to spread her wings and move on to the next. As the success of her show grew, so did her fame grow from a hustling actress to Suits star to dating a prince.
Doing a project. He said his ex was a woman from a show called Suits. I didn't know what the show was. I didn't know the woman. Months later, I see pictures.
The woman was on a rampage and didn't want anything to slow her down. I mean, she had a vision board of what she wanted, and with the marriage out of the way, she could loudly move the needle without uncomfortably shaking tables. This Meghan is not one we are unfamiliar with. She uses people and discards them when they no longer suit the new narrative or vision she's orchestrated for herself. We've seen this in the feuds and friendships she has broken as she stepped into royal life. There was no longer a need to keep certain people around her as they suited her time as a rising actress. But now, as a royal, a title she got from her marriage to Prince Harry, there was no place for certain people in her new life. It's nothing new for the Hollywood princess. She's known for altering her appearance and attitude to suit whichever phase of life she's in, and would even place herself at the center of controversies to make headlines.
I'm very happy for them.
An heir to the British throne, marrying an American actor, divorced, raised Catholic, a woman of color, and an activist long before she met her prince. Is it true that Harry assembled?
This is someone who claimed that all she wants is privacy. If you look at her previous marriage and her more recent and present one, you'd see some similarities between the two men. Both of them pushed themselves to make space for Meghan's ambitions and vast dreams. They both show their love and devotion to the Suits star, and many around them observed that they aren't getting the same energy back from her. It's all performative and odd to them. The ones around them kept shouting at them about Meghan's true intentions, but they're too blind to see it. If history is repeating itself in Meghan's current marriage, what would happen when Harry no longer has anything else to offer her? Suppose they eventually lose their title, their influence, standing, and connection.
On her first husband in a quest for fame and success, even sending her wedding ring back in the mail. Now, Andrew Morton is popularly known for penning biographies of actor Tom.
Would Meghan happily stick around or abandon ship when it no longer suits the narrative that she's trying to create for herself? Unlike her previous marriage, which was childless, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have 2 children, Archie and Lilibet. The situation, although similar, is even more dicey with children present. This brings us to Bethany Frankel and her revealing story. During an appearance on the Toast podcast, Bethany shared that she had briefly dated Trevor in 2016. This was the same period Meghan had begun dating Harry. Trevor was newly out of his marriage and, unknowingly, watching his ex-wife rise to the most significant global stage imaginable. Bethany recalled that Trevor casually mentioned his ex-wife was an actress on the show Suits. She did not know the show. She did not know Meghan.
But you talk as well throughout the book about her love of all things British, actually, and we have seen photographs in the papers recently of her as a young girl outside Buckingham Palace, and you talk about her own in your book, in fact, and sitting on her shelves at one point about Diana. You also talk about her going...
Months later, when pictures surfaced of Prince Harry's mysterious new girlfriend, Bethany texted Trevor to ask if that woman was his ex. Trevor's reply was simple. Yes, it was. Bethany then asked him if he thought Meghan would close the deal with Harry, and Trevor, with complete confidence and zero hesitation, said 2 words that have since become iconic. She will close. He did not expand. He did not explain.
One appearance, attending the Thanksgiving service. They weren't seen on the balcony with the rest of the family at the pageant or the concert. Was this deliberate?
He simply stated what he already knew from experience. When Meghan sets her mind on something, she gets it, and when she no longer wants something, she removes it from her life without a second thought. Trevor was there before fame and lost her once she rose. Harry was there as fame peaked, and now faces a world where that same fame is beginning to crumble.
Meghan Markle, right from the start, she really seemed to understand something, but we've never really known why until now.
If history does repeat itself in Meghan's current marriage, the fallout will be global. A prince, 2 children, and a royal narrative collapsing in real time. Trevor saw the pattern long before the world did. In his soft but telling words to Bethany Frankel, he revealed everything. When Meghan wants something, she gets it. When she no longer wants something, she leaves it behind. And as Trevor said with certainty years before the world caught on, when the moment comes for her to move on, she will simply do what she has always done. She will close.